9 key cognitive strategies. Well, let me explain to you. These key cognitive strategies are very useful, not only because they help you succeed in college, but because they help you succeed in life. For example, number 1, analysis. Analysis comes for a striving of a deeper understanding, more in depth to be sure, because you want to get the true meaning of something. For example, in my biology lab last year, I used analysis to prove my point on my opinion of why I believed. For example, atoms are found in the period table with a total of 8 valence electrons. That's a fact. Now, analysis can also be used in this. For my Spanish class, I've had to write analysis about what I believed over this deculturalization passage. Now, analysis comes very in depth when finding a deeper meaning. Number 2, problem solving. Problem solving comes when using numbers. Problem solving solves a problem, right? The reason they call it problem solving is because you have to solve some sort of equation. For example, the equations I used were the period, the vertical shifts, and the phase shifts for this quiz that I passed in trigonometry this year. Also, on my homework, I had to graph secant using similar or sort of related equations. The reason problem solving is very important is not only because problem solving helps you solve a problem, but also problem solving can be good when upcoming an issue, because some people don't address issues the same way they should be. If you can problem solve not only with numbers, but can take it to greater things, then problem solving might just be in handy when anytime in need. Number 3, reason, proof, and argumentation. This is basically proving your point. For my poetry essay, I used reason, proof, and argumentation because I was asked a question. I had to show my reason and I had to explain my evidence with my proof. Basically, my poetry essay consisted of why I thought I believed, what evidence did I have. And not only that, but that also helped me understand more. It helped me learn more. It helped me strive for that deeper understanding. For my atomic bomb essay, I was asked whether the United States should have dropped the bomb on Hiroshima the day after Pearl Harbor was bombed. Now, I agreed, but because I agreed, I had to use reason, proof, and argumentation. I had to give evidence, numbers, facts, concrete evidence of why I believed, and then I had to back it up with my own opinion. I had to argue their point, and I had to prove my point. Now, interpretation. Interpretation comes to use when you want to put somebody's words into your words. For example, the meaning of something, what it really means. You interpret it. What does it really mean? Now, for this terrorism packet that we got in my history class, interpretation was necessary, but because we had to know what this packet was trying to communicate to us. And interpretation can come very handy when not understanding something, because you have to find the meaning. For this immigration research, interpretation had to be used thoroughly, not only because of the facts that our teacher threw at us in class, but because we also had to read off different articles to argue our point and to understand the point they're trying to make. Basically, us putting their words in our words. That is interpretation. Now, next. Intellectual openness. Intellectual openness can basically mean you're open, right? You're open to intake new information. Not that you want it, but you're open to. That's why in my Industrial Revolution essay, I had to be open to both sides of the argument. Both sides of whether the United States became industrialized quicker or not. Now, I agreed, but because I had to prove what I knew. Intellectual openness can also be proved. For example, this estimado juez that we did in Spanish, we had to have an open mind because it was a sort of court case. We had to have an open mind to hear both sides. Not only because of that, but because in court, two sides are always going to argue, but not both of them remain superior at the end. As we know, intellectual openness is when you grasp, when you're open to adapt. Next, Inquisitiveness is when you ask more questions for a deeper understanding. For example, in technology class, we made a resume. This resume was basically a list of questions that we had to set up. We were asked these questions to answer about ourselves to see if we can apply to a job. Also, a cover page was basically 3 written out questions that were asked for us that had to be used for when upcoming something. Not only that, but these questions helped me explain more. These questions made me think more. These questions helped. I say these questions helped because I guess I was open to adapt. Not only that, it also made me smarter because the questions that I had to use for inquisitiveness would basically be short but very, very precise. That brings me to my next point. Precision and accuracy is basically as exact as it can be in the less amount of time. For example, my GPA spreadsheet. We worked on this to calculate grades. Now this thing does it automatically. That's the good thing, automatically. What I like about this is that it calculates grades so quick in such a short amount of time. With the use of formulas, we can calculate our grades. Also, this chemistry lab. Basically, we used Excel for this. Excel uses formulas for precise answers with a very short amount of time. The reason Excel does that is to save difficult math for teachers for very short occasions. I think Excel does this not only because it's great, but because it helps you get numbers when you need them. Excel can do many things, but that's why this is precision and accuracy. Next, research. For research, you have to go in, dig deeper, find the bigger message. Basically, go out of your way to see what you can find. That's why in my Industrial Revolution essay, I had to research on facts for what the United States had done to accomplish industrialization in such a short amount of time, which led them to the next superpower of the world. My atomic bomb essay. I had to research in my atomic bomb essay because I had to find facts about what happened to be able to prove my point. Research is essential. Research is essential when being asked a question. Why? Because research helps you find better evidence. And with research comes great analysis. And with great research and great analysis comes deeper interpretation. That's why I think all the key cognitive strategies are tied together. Next, writing. Writing can be used not only because writing is very essential, but because writing does everything. Writing is everything in the world. I say that writing is essential. Why? Let me explain. My college hero journey, writing was essential because I had to write over something. I had to tell my story. I had to explain my point of view to the people. Next, writing. In my poetry essay last year, writing was essential because not only does writing contain literary devices, but writing is sort of mastering how you connect to people. With great writing comes great understanding. And I think that writing is essential because if you jot something down, you get better at it. You get better at explaining a point, and you get better at having self-confidence. Those are the 9 key cognitive strategies that I mastered in technology class as a junior at Animo Inglewood High School.